In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment and let your anger take over. As you know, this often leads to poor decisions, destructive behavior, and large amounts of regret. That's why it's so important to control your anger before your anger gets out of control. A simple tool for doing this is called taking a timeout. Taking a timeout is an effective way to manage your anger and give yourself the time to think about how you want to react. But what is a timeout? When should you take one? And how do you take timeout effectively? In this episode, I will answer all of these questions and more. Hello and welcome to episode 31 of the Anger Secrets podcast. I'm Alistair Dews, and over the last 30 years, I've taught over 10,000 men and women how to control their anger, master their emotions, and create calmer, happier, and more respectful relationships. In this podcast, I share practical strategies and real-life stories to help you control your anger, master your emotions, and create calmer, happier relationships. For free support on your anger management journey, including a free training and the opportunity to book a free 20-minute anger assessment call with me, visit my website, angersecrets.com. I look forward to helping you control your anger once and for all. Now, let's jump into today's episode, how to take a timeout effectively. Let's begin with what is a timeout. With clients I work with, I define a timeout as a conscious decision to leave a situation for an agreed period of time because your anger is getting out of control. Although timeouts do not solve arguments, they do prevent arguments from getting out of control. It is also important to note that a timeout is different from walking out, which is often done in a controlling way. A timeout is a tool to give yourself the time and space to calm down so that you can come back and have a more constructive conversation. While timeouts are an effective anger management tool, taking a timeout is not always the best option to de-escalate a situation. Taking a timeout ineffectively can easily make the person left in the situation feel frustrated, ignored, and unheard. For this reason, it is important to take a timeout the right way. Here are my top 6 tips for taking an effective timeout in a relationship. Tip 1. Discuss timeout with your partner before you need to use it. The first step in taking a timeout effectively is to discuss timeout with your partner before you need to use it. This discussion should take place when you and your partner are both calm. Discussing timeout before an argument or disagreement ensures that you are both on the same page regarding taking timeout in your relationship. In this discussion, agree on the following points: when you will take timeout, how long your timeout will be, where you will go during the timeout, and what will happen when you come back from timeout. Having these agreements in place before you take a timeout is vital to your partner understanding that timeout is a tool to help you calm down if your temper is getting out of control. You are not trying to avoid the argument or walking out. Tip 2. When to take timeout. It is essential to take a timeout before you reach a point of no return. The moment when your anger has taken over and you can no longer have a calm and constructive conversation. It is also essential to take time out before you act in an abusive or violent way. This is especially important if you are prone to physical, emotional, or verbal abuse. In order to take a time out before it is too late, you need to recognize the signs that your temper is getting out of control. These may include feeling overwhelmed or tense, engaging in a loud and aggressive vocal tone, or feeling like you are about to explode. When you become aware of these signs, it is time to take a time out. Tip 3. What to say when taking a time out. If you need to take a time out, tell your partner clearly. Keep your language simple and clear. For example, say, I need to take a time out. I will be back in 20 minutes. Make sure you stick to the duration of the timeout you have agreed with your partner. When you say that you need to take a time out, do not blame your partner for you needing to take a time out. Use harsh or inappropriate language, or say that you are taking a time out because your partner is wrong or making you angry. Tip 4. Where to go during your timeout. Once you have said that you need to take a time out, make sure you leave the situation. Do not stay and argue with your partner. If you have carried out Tip 1 correctly, you and your partner have already agreed on how to take a time out and where you will go. Your partner will also know when you are coming back. If you stick to this agreement, your partner will gain confidence that you are truly trying to manage your anger. Some appropriate places to go during a timeout include going to a separate room from your partner, going for a walk outside, going to a park or other outdoor space, or going to a friend's house if you have previously agreed to this. Tip 5. Wait for the agreed time. When you have taken a time out, you must return to your partner at the agreed time. Even if you have calmed down before this time, stick to your agreement to return at the agreed time, as your partner may take time to cool down as well. Some suitable activities to do during a timeout include practicing mindfulness techniques, such as meditating, focusing on your breath, or visualizing peaceful images, listening to calming music, or reminding yourself why you value your partner and the relationship. Tip 6. What to do when you return from timeout. When you return from timeout, repair your relationship. This means that you and your partner should get back on good terms with each other, such as by hugging each other, apologizing for your part in the argument, or simply speaking kindly to each other. Once you have repaired your relationship, decide with your partner if the issue you are arguing about is important. If it is, decide when to talk about it again. In my opinion, couples often need a day or two to get over the argument before they can talk successfully about the same issue again. You may also need to discuss how you can talk about the issue without getting heated. For example, perhaps you may need another person present when you talk about the issue again, or maybe you should both do more research before you talk about the issue. By following these 6 tips, timeout should be an effective anger management tool for you. In my comprehensive anger management course, The Complete Anger Management System, I include far more details on how to take a timeout effectively, including instructions for partners of people who are taking time out. If you want more details on this course, visit my website, angersecrets.com. To summarize today's episode, remember that timeouts are not intended to avoid issues, only to stop arguments getting to a level where someone acts in an abusive or violent way. Timeouts are not walkouts. They are simply ways to stop arguments from becoming abusive or violent, and a timeout is a way to demonstrate that you are serious about managing your anger, abuse, or violence issues. Okay, that's all for today's episode on how to take a timeout effectively. Be sure to tune into the next episode to learn how to navigate conflict in relationships. If you found this episode helpful, please follow this podcast and head over to your favorite podcast app and leave a rating and review. This will help other people struggling with anger find and benefit from this show. Remember also, for free support on your anger management journey, including free training and the opportunity to book a free 20-minute anger assessment call with me, visit my website, angersecrets.com. I look forward to helping you control your anger once and for all. And finally, remember, you can't control other people, but you can control yourself. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.
The Anger Secrets podcast is for general informational purposes only, and does not constitute the practice of counseling, psychotherapy, or any other professional health service. No therapeutic relationship is implied or created by this podcast. If you have mental health concerns of any type, please seek out the help of a local mental health professional.